welcome back to my channel. I think I took a Christmas break, but I am back with another series. In this installment, I'm talking to my friend Melissa about her career choices and then hopefully a project she's actively doing. So my name is Nana. If you've not been here before, this is Nana's Adventures. Welcome back. If you have any questions, comments, leave in the bottom and we'll get to you towards the end. So, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Melissa. I feel like you're going to ask me what I do next, so I won't tell you.
Yeah, continue.
I am a freelance copywriter. That means that I do writing for businesses, particularly marketing, but not just that. And I'm also going to be talking to you a bit today about a charity that I'm a trustee for.
So your paid job, how did you get yourself into it? What were you doing before you got?
So for 7 years I was working for local government. I was working with homeless families and migrant families. Just helping them to find the homes that they needed. It was rewarding at times and stressful at times.
We used to do projects together with welcome boxes and visiting families and helping them out do the basic things like, reading GP letters, and to the point we helped fix Hoovers.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then cooking together and eating together. So that was good fun. So is it fair to say that, so for those who don't know, you work for yourself, right? So is it fair to say that it's an entrepreneurial?
Yes, so different freelancers think about their work in different ways, but I like to think of what I do as a business and to approach it as a business, because that's what's going to help me to grow and to learn new skills and to actually create something that's sustainable
So your previous job was one that you had very little control over, how your income came. It's all almost like a government thing. Right. Mm-hmm. And then this time you work for yourself, you do your own taxes and all those. I presume that's challenging. So how have you navigated some hurdles that you've come across transitioning?
So it is a very interesting transition because, like Nana just said, when you're in an employed job, you get a paycheck every month or every week, you know how much is coming in, and you can kind of plan around that. When you are working for yourself, there's no guarantee that you're going to get any money because you have to find the work and then you have to deliver on it and then you get paid for it. But at the same time, there's no limit to how much you can earn. If you can find the work and you can convince people to pay you for it, then there's a lot more freedom that goes in both directions. There's less security, there's more opportunity.
And how do you navigate time management? Because when you are working in a structured environment, it's 9 to 5, you're on someone else's clock. When you work for yourself, how do you say, okay, I'm working from, and where does work start, when does holiday begin, and how do you come back?
Yeah, so that is a difficult one. The approach I took was to just start out doing exactly the hours that I was doing in my day job, because that gave me the discipline to keep showing up for work every day, particularly when you're starting out before you have actual projects to deliver, and you're spending more time looking for work and, getting your name out there, then that consistency is really important, to just keep showing up and doing what you need to do to get started. Now that I'm doing a lot more paid projects, I have deadlines. So those deadlines are, they do make you work harder, they make you step up your game if there's a tight deadline. But I still try as far as possible to stick to a healthy kind of, not 9 to 5, I can't work full time, I've not been able to for years, but 9 to 3:30 or so tends to be my working pattern. Occasionally when I have something that's due, it stretches out.
And so do you, I've not ventured in this before, but I presume when you work for the government there's a structured pension set up. How do you navigate that working for yourself?
So again, it's exactly the same question of that. There's that security that goes away and there's the opportunity that comes up. So I honestly have not yet arranged my new pension because that is on my task list to do later this year. But I do have a pension from my previous employer, and there are plenty of people out there who can help you set up a good pension. You don't need to be employed to do that. I just haven't done it yet.
And how do you navigate the NI payments? Like, that's like my biggest, if going into anything entrepreneurial, like, your employer, if you work for a big corporation, they do all those, and you look at your pay slip and they've deducted what the deductibles. So now that you do yourself, is there like an app you use, a spreadsheet? How are you disciplined and not spend all the money knowing that you have to contribute to the...
Yeah, very good question. So you're actually really lucky that I have been self-employed before, because I haven't yet been self-employed for a whole tax year this time round. So I haven't yet had to do a tax return. I haven't yet had to pay anything towards taxes, but I have done it in the past. So it's all about being aware of what's coming up. So my practice at the moment is to put aside 25% of everything that comes into my account. That is more than I'm going to need to cover my taxes and my national insurance. But I know that when I get to making that payment, that money will be there, and then what's left over, I can reallocate elsewhere.
Do you ever get tempted to spend everything?
Not yet.
I don't know.
I think I'm quite good at that bit of discipline. I really would like that money to be there when it's due, so that I don't have to worry about where I'm going to find it.
So what prompted the change in careers?
So a lot of different things at the same time. So one thing is that simply I had been in the job I was in for 7 years. It was a really great job. I really loved it. But just due to the structure of the place where I was working, there wasn't really much opportunity for me to progress from that job into something else. I've always wanted to start a business for years, so I thought, you know what, this is the moment to do it. I want to change anyway.
Courageous.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know personally anyone who does copywriting to start with.
Actually, you do.
Well, now I do. But
no, you do. Well, Simon.
Yes. Oh, I'm
you
gonna
might
get
want to
someone
cut that one out.
I'm sure it's gonna have a good laugh when he watches this. Okay, so I mean, when you're young and you go to career prospects and all these, it's not the first thing they jump at you at school. How did you even come about it? That you know that you've got an interest and a skill to pursue it? Did you study a course or something to?
Yep, it's a really good question. I actually, I'm slightly ashamed of this. I am in copywriting because of a Facebook ad. But to be fair, it was very well copywritten. So it proved to me that, copywriting is an effective skill to have. So that was how I first realised that this was an opportunity, that was something I would be able to do. I am one of those people who has written all my life, so learning the skills to apply that in a business context and what you need to do differently in order to help sell products and sell services.
So I guess you have to do a lot of research. Do they give you information, or you have to do your own research, or?
It really varies. I should just go back to, you were asking me about courses. So that Facebook ad was for an online course, which I then took, and that was really helpful because it gave me the training in what I needed to know to do the copywriting well, but also training in how to start out as a freelancer, which is really useful because it's a lot more complicated than I think I thought. I'm not sure where I thought work was meant to come from, but I always just had this idea that freelancers just sort of sat down and did some work that someone had sent them, and it's a little bit more complicated than that.
I didn't realise that, things that we read on people's websites is written by others. I thought someone in that company would sit down and write all of it and put it up there. I didn't realise it's a separate entity to making sure that what is up there is written properly and it's someone's job to do that. So it's really cool. It's like behind the scenes. It's like almost like a in terms of video things? Are you a cameraman?
Yeah,
Videographer,
it
if you
depends. It depends on the business. Obviously, there are some small businesses who will do their own copy, and if they have someone on their team who is, good at writing and has some understanding of how marketing works, then that's absolutely fine. But most businesses, as they grow, will look to bring in a professional to work on that.
And have you come across any challenges with copyright infringement and plagiarism?
So far, no. So the distinction between copywriting and copyright is a confusing one because they sound exactly the same, but they are actually different. It's spelt differently, which you can't see when you say it. But it is still the case that as a copywriter, I have to make sure that my writing is not, stolen from anyone else. But to be honest, it's not really a problem because I start from scratch anyway.
Do you have a plagiarism app or something that you use to fact check, or it doesn't matter?
So far I haven't. No.
So, what will be your advice to someone who wanted to pursue this line of work?
So my first recommendation is to get some good training. You can learn everything you need to about how to be a copywriter online for free, but you have to know what to look for and you have to know where to look. So I would recommend doing what I did and buying a comprehensive course that kind of packages that all up for you.
Is it from a university or a web company?
The one I did was online. It was called Comprehensive Copywriting Academy. If you want to check it out, it's really good.
Cool. I'll try and find a
But
link
there
and
are lots and lots of other opportunities out there. As far as I'm aware, copywriting is not generally a university course, but it's also because it's quite a practical, hands-on skill that you're using in the real world, out in the business world. You actually learn best by getting out there and doing it, learning some of the principles, and then just getting on with the job. So yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Get some guidance. It's much simpler to have a bit of wisdom and a bit of a sense of direction from someone who knows what they're doing at the start, and you can get that from a course. But yeah, there are different ways to do that. You get a coach, get a business coach.
Cool. So I guess we've explored your one side of work, and I presume that frees up your time to do other things, including your voluntary project.
Yes. Yes, it's been a learning curve because what I'm finding is I have so much more flexibility about how I manage my time, but I also have a lot of work to get through. So I have to be a little bit careful with that. But yes, one of the things I'm involved with that I have been spending a lot of time on recently is a charity called the Docustress Project. I'm a trustee for that charity, and at the moment we are doing a crowdfunder. So we're right in the middle of kind of coming up with lots of extra marketing content and getting in touch with people we know, such as lovely Nana, to help us get the word out. So this charity is a very small charity. We support people out of poverty through dressmaking. So there's a specific dress, which I will show you, which is called the Dorcas dress, which is designed to fit UK sizes 8 to 26, which means that the same dress can be worn by me, it can be worn by someone who is pregnant, it can be worn by someone who's a different size, and it will adjust to fit all those different people. But at the same time, the people who are making this dress are learning employment skills. They are being paid fairly for their work, and they have the opportunity to get involved in selling the dresses and learn business skills as well at the same time. So it's really exciting. So we don't usually work with factories, but actually our crowdfunder is to work with a factory. So if you were aware of the news last summer, there was a report that came out about factory working conditions in Leicester, which has a big fashion production industry in Leicester. and it came out that a lot of workers were being really underpaid. There's a very high proportion of first-generation migrants living in Leicester, and that means that a lot of them don't speak English. So they don't have the ability necessarily to stand up for themselves and their rights, or even know what their rights are. So we have partnered with a factory where the majority of people who work there don't speak English, and they also don't have a language in common with each other. So imagine working next to someone day in, day out and not actually being able to talk to them. And we're going to be producing a run of Dorcas dresses with that factory, paying them fairly, and also providing them with English lessons and social opportunities to practice their English, to give them that first step towards empowerment and being able to speak up for themselves and understand their rights in the UK, understand how they should be treated in the workplace.
What is the gender ratio?
I don't have the numbers.
You have more men than women?
I assume it's more women, but I don't actually know. Across the fashion industry, it is majority women who are producing our clothes.
And unfortunately, the pay disparity cut across most jobs, including that as well, and add to the yawning gap that is still growing. So I think it's a very worthy cause for anyone who is interested in anything ethical relating to our clothes, and especially wanting to make a difference in this whole climate change and what to do, global warming and what to do. It's as simple as supporting sustainable clothing than doing ones that are wasteful, and also get to alleviate people from certain situations and give them better, prospect in life, really. So that's a very good.
To pick up on the sustainability point, the other thing that comes with having a dress that you can, that anyone can wear the same dress, is that you can keep hold of that for your life, even if you gain weight, lose weight, have a baby, whatever might happen, then you can continue wearing that one dress. So we're standing against that throwaway culture. We also try, as far as possible, to use materials that are sustainably made. And because, again, this one dress fits any size, we don't get a problem with having excess stock that can't be sold. So a lot of shops will produce a line of clothing in a range of sizes, but they'll find actually that they struggle to sell as many of a certain size, and they get to the end of that season and I think usually those clothes just end up in landfill because there's nowhere else for them to go.
It's been shipped to Africa. I've been watching documentaries of beachfront and landfills populated with clothing from the Western world that they've not worn, and haven't found better ways of recycling, and it's ended up in places where the climate's not even appropriate for some of the things that's being sent there, and it's just more and more things are being sent in, truckloads of them, and if no one's wearing them, it just clogs up the system. It's not going to decay tomorrow or the next day, and it's like out of mind, out of sight, out of mind, but at some point it will catch up.
And the other thing that happens is that third world economies get all these Western clothes coming in and being sold cheaply because no one wants them, and that undermines the local economy, undermines people locally who are making clothes. So that's where we
import and export currencies as well.
Yeah.
And so, how much is such a dress if someone wanted to purchase one?
So the dress that we're crowdfunding for, you can pre-order. It would usually cost £65, but if you pre-order through the crowdfunder, it's £58. I think I've got those numbers right. It's definitely £58 if you pre-order it now.
For life, and it will be a reminder of the worthy cause that you are. And so I'll put some pictures at the end so you can see what colours, and put a link to the website, and hopefully they will have a way of they will demonstrate how many ways you can wear the dress. So anytime you wear it, you think of the people invest and the difference you're making.
Yeah. So if you just going to say, if you want to look at pictures of the dress, then you can go on our social media, Docustress Project on Facebook or Instagram. I think we're on Twitter as well.
You'll put all
the links. The pictures are all of the black dress, but we are planning to also do a run of navy blue dresses, but you only get sent one sample, so we have the sample in black. Oh, this is important. We have match funding at the moment, so if you do decide to pre-order a dress or just give us a donation, which we're very grateful for, the amount that you give will be doubled by the match funder.
Cool. Lovely. So, yeah. Cool project to join. Well, thank you very much, Melissa, for joining in. I hope that you do exploit in all your adventures, and do let us know how things go with the Dorcas project down the line. We can probably do a review.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care, everyone. At the end of the video.